have a question and kindly answer me. If I had a banana, one banana, and I said it's $1,000, would you still buy it? Let's remove all the assumption. This is not a rare breed of banana. This is not like an artistic banana they talk about. This is not the last banana on the planet. This is the regular ass banana that I picked from a supermarket for 10 cents. Would you give me $1,000? And by the way, it's not even going to save your life. Nothing like that. It's just a regular banana. Just banana. Would you? 1. The self-feeding fallacy. Just like the banana anecdote, the most pointed out fact about this loneliness epidemic is that the men in particular are their own problem. They have failed to improve themselves. They have failed to smile more, have more eye contact, blah blah blah. You know the whole deal. That's the point. Yes, the truth is men have failed. Men care more about Xbox and PlayStation than being social people, and that is their problem, not ours. However, the problem they don't address is what is the cause? Why are they obsessed with the effect rather than the cause? And where does even the story of the banana come in? Let's first go to the introduction. This is not a manosphere channel or a feminist channel for that fact. Our existence as a channel is to learn how to be bad to fight bad people. We address only the negative aspects people might use to take advantage of us, but not anymore. So, it's our time. We have to betray them, steal their happiness, and use them as our enemies. So on the banana side, we are the ones selling the banana, not buying it. The self-feeding fallacy, part 2, the cause. The reason why men are lonely is that loneliness is the best alternative available. Other alternatives are our sweet old suicide, which is only a portion that a fool can use. Or being in a relationship where you sell all your brains, soul and body to a self-sucking and satisfying monster. And most men are not going that way either. Let me share this short personal story. A few years ago, I got a girl who was a 9 or a 10, sincerely speaking, and I took her out. By the way, as a side note, if I say I got this girl, don't think of Tinder or these dating apps. That doesn't work here in the global south. We still use the old fashioned. So it was a recommendation from a friend. So I took her to this fancy restaurant where the food for each person cost around $70. If you adjust that for PPP stuff, that's like $250 in Western nations for each plate for each person. And another fact, we don't have 50% here. It's 100 to 0. So far, for the most part, the date took off fine. The vibe was fine, she was fine. I also tried my best behaviors on that night, not giving up even a bad energy. It wasn't until late when I received a phone call and picked my phone that was in my pocket for the whole time that her attitude and mood shifted. The jolliness, openness, and everything all went just instant, and the date ended just a few minutes later. Then that was followed by blue ticks on messages and voicemails, and after a few weeks later she tried to do me a courtesy and explain what happened and really why she wasn't interested. And do you know the reason why? The reason was that I didn't have an iPhone. Actually, she sounded like these girls.
Are you broke? Like, how can you not afford an Apple? I'm sorry.
It's a 0. Our pictures for Instagram are gonna be terrible.
It's green text and I'm doing blue.
But to give you context, 1, she had an iPhone 12. These are a few years ago, so it was the latest and the hottest. 2, I had an Android phone, and the original price of that phone was $200. And as a fun fact, I still have that phone as my main phone. Now it has a broken screen and the battery only stays like for 4 hours on idle. If I call, it only lasts like for 40 minutes. So if she met me now, she would call the police or HR for harassment. On the face value, you can argue like, hey, she was out of your league, blah blah blah. Which is fair, but you need also to understand some circumstances. A, that iPhone was bought to her by her former boyfriend. No, actually let me put it very well, her sugar daddy. As a side note, we also have some videos about sugar dad and sugar mommy stuff. So if you're interested in such stuff, you can check it out. On the other side, I bought this Android phone with my own money that I worked from a construction site and saved all my hard-earned cash to buy this phone. While we are still on that topic, this is me on the construction site. I'm even anime my myself. Yeah, go. Be the child you want to be. But why are you hiding your face? Anyway, apparently this girl rejected me because I had a cheaper phone that I bought myself. Yet she had an expensive phone that she couldn't buy herself. B, she was 27, still living with her parents, but always bashing me that my 1-bedroom rented house wasn't that enough. Woman, at least I'm not living with my mom. Sorry, mom. And I know my story is not all that sad or even intriguing as the most stories I have seen, but it paints a picture on why men are lonely. The problem is not that men are no wrong variable, but the question of buying a banana that is not all that special for $1,000 is not a good choice either. And that's the point that they don't want you to talk about. I shall highlight a few techniques that they use to attack you and weaken you later. But here are the real causes. 1. The market is not giving the same values as they expect you to give. They need you to be a 10 or a 9 with a 666 feature set, yet they are all a 2 by themselves, and we end up not buying. 2. The inequality. The biggest weapon they have to fight about inequality is censorship. It's getting worse. The abuses, the denial, the self-blame is not a plus on your side. So, take alternatives. 3. Poor parenting and blame shifting. We had an agenda where both genders are supposed to be treated equal, but right from the start, inequality is instilled in the boys even before they start talking. A big example is when it comes to needs. Girls are given higher than boys from personal needs to scholastic needs. Hey, I have to highlight that yes, women have more needs than men. But my emphasis is here. If a girl makes a shopping list for 50 items and you buy 45 items, and a boy makes a list of items for 20 items, you only buy 5 items, that math is not mathing. And this is spread across all households in every society and every continent, even here in the global south. I can't forget this statement that my mom used to tell me every beginning of the term. She was like, Demas, if you don't give your sisters everything they needed, they will get them from someone else and they will end up being pregnant. Do you want that? And I would respond naively with a lot of optimism and care with statements like, no mom, give it to them. I want them successful and okay. Yes, up to now I'm still rooting for my sisters, but at my own expense. The fear of my sisters getting pregnant ended up making me use one soap for laundry, utensils, cleaning, garbage, to use the same to clean my butt to my face. So you end up with a butt face, and now they start blaming you that it's yourself that you didn't get anyone. It's your problem. Man it up, get it over, it's patriarchy. No, it's your fault. You ignored that boy, so he can't get a high school sweetheart. And talking of neglecting boys, what happens when boys get neglected? Do they get pregnant or what? 4. Blame shifting. When a girl misses up an opportunity, either she drops out of school, gets pregnant, becomes abusive, it's always a problem beyond her control. She came from a broken household, she had abusive parents. It is, you always hear those statements. But if a boy is neglected and ends up being suicidal, involves himself in mass shootings, what are the points do they highlight? He is lonely. He was an incel. He hates women. He hates black people. Actually, always read the comment section. It's where gold is. Blaming and blaming shifting is both the cause and the technique they use to pin you down, that you are the problem. So get it together. Yet when the pay gap comes up to their ladder, they can't get it together. You have to join them. You have to protest. You have to riot. I don't get it, man. It's just out of beyond this silly man's understanding. So let me share a few techniques that they use apart from blaming. 2. Censorship. Number 1 was blaming. But if they see blaming is not working, censorship becomes a weapon with words like hate speech, inciting violence, yet they are using the same exact word for word. Incidentally, I've been using these AI tools recently, but the censorship has made these tools unusable. Just type 2 similar prompts of the same exact input and change the gender. Thank me later. Then again, read the comments on how useless we are, that we deserve to die. But when you call out such behaviors, guess what? It's just a joke. Oh, okay. Here are a few jokes. 3. Your self-denial and abusive behaviors, that you don't need us. But when we get passport and we become passport daddies, is this a joke? 4. You're using children and court system to hurt, kill, and destroy our lives. That is also a joke. 5. What about the porn industry? That is also a joke that we engaged in shaking the hand with the milkman, yet we shouldn't talk about how dildos and vibrators make more than 80% of the market share. And I have a question. What happened to the gender that had the best self-control about sex? Who is buying the dildos? Lonely men. Do you buy these dildos so that you can eat them with spaghetti or macaroni? So in conclusion, men are lonely not for the effects of the market but for the unfairness in the market. No one is going to buy that banana. Loneliness is simple, cool, and economical. Besides, we are not the one who owns the cats, so before you attack us, ask your cats why you love them so much. In this video, we explain one aspect of our society, the men, but they are not the only one facing the evil. We have a lot of evil in this world, and most will pretend that it's you who is hurting them. That's the technique that they have that you haven't got. But on this channel, we teach you how to be bad as a way to protect yourself from the bad guys. As a Kung Fu master says, Kung Fu is only learned for the self-defense. Never learn these techniques to harm anyone. So consider joining us as we grow our channel. As always, when darkness falls, it's yourself alone. I'm Demas. See you next.